Hello and welcome back to today's show. This is your guy Obi as usual. Today we'll be talking about the EPL game week number 12. Very shocking, very boring weekend. I have to say that because results were not coming for the big boys. Liverpool versus Fulham. Liverpool were almost losing that match. They were very grateful to grant that draw out of that match. And I was looking at it and saying, the last time Liverpool went down a goal was that defeat against Aston Villa, that 7-2 defeat against Aston Villa. So it was shocking, and they have to be grateful. Liverpool have to be very grateful because Fulham were a better team in the first half. We saw what Klopp was doing after halftime. He literally ran to the tunnel with a lot to communicate to his team. So it wasn't a good performance from Liverpool. Manchester Derby, very boring. All both the managers trying to employ a cautious approach to the game. Both never wanted to lose the match, but they wanted to win. Never wanting to lose, but wanting to win. That was the result. 0-0. It wasn't the best of those derbies that we were maybe expecting for the weekend. But give it to them because sometimes you don't need to win. Sometimes you only need to avoid a loss. That is it. That is about football. And so, what about Leicester? They were the biggest winners of all the top 7 clubs. Leicester were the biggest winners. Tottenham and Crystal Palace drawing 1-1. Of course, Crystal Palace equalizing towards the death of that game, and many fans were expecting Tottenham to continue with their fine form, but their breaks, were cut short by Crystal Palace, and it was a draw. And Chelsea finally losing at home, away at Everton. Everton were a better team all through. Chelsea players looked like they were a bit tired. The motivation was not there. Lackluster performance from key players. Talking about Kai Havertz, that kind of performance does not justify the price tag he has. But again, there are times when results just don't come your way. There are times when the game just flows out of the window, and I think this is one of the weekends that we have not seen many goals in the English Premier League. But yet there was another peculiar talking point. What is happening with Arsenal Football Club? If you are a fan and a football fan, you know what Arsenal is made of. You know what Arsenal means. But that might have changed in the recent past because we are seeing a different type of Arsenal. Arsenal has been a team that has been going down. It has been declining over and over ever since Wenger's era. Things have not been working. Sometimes we ask ourselves what is not happening at Arsenal, because Arsenal once again lost. Seventh loss in 12 games. That was shocking. 7 losses out of 12 games. That is shocking. Arsenal is still 15th in the table, and this is the first time Arsenal is experiencing this in 42 years. And Burnley, who won the match, courtesy of own goal from Aubameyang, haven't won at Arsenal for 52 years in the Premier League. And so Arteta and his men are making new records, negative records at that. And it is so interesting to see what is going to happen. What is going to happen, because things need to change. Fans have been crying. Things need to change. I don't know whether the board, the hierarchy there at Arsenal, is listening to all these all these cries from the fans, because football is all about fans. Without fans, there will not be football. And if fans are not content, it means that things need to change. And so we saw individual mistakes coming from Xhaka. this is the second time, and I have to say that Xhaka must be very grateful. He has to be very grateful because there were not enough fans when he was doing all that he did. Xhaka is 28 years of age. By now, he should have learned the trade very, very well. He's an assistant captain there at Arsenal, and as a captain, he should know better. Doing all that he did, putting a lot of pressure on his team, getting sent off because of a silly mistake that was shocking from Shaq again, because Pepe also had the same experience. I think today was his last game he was serving, that red card that he was served with, and it is so shocking what is happening with Arsenal. One player is about to return, another one is going out because of a simple, silly mistake, And again, we saw El Neni almost committing the same similar mistake in a similar situation as Xhaka's, and a lot of fans have been asking, what is happening at Arsenal? So questions have to be asked about Arsenal and Arteta, because football is all about fans. That's number one. Number two, football is result oriented. If results are not coming, it means there's a problem. And now, where is the problem? Is it the hierarchy at Arsenal? Is it the owners? Is it about the board? Is it about the players? Is it about the manager? Because if the players are not performing, why is Arteta picking the same non-performing players over and over? Arsenal has been decent in Europa League, and you cannot tell me that those players that are playing in Europa League games are not good enough or to play in the EPL, because a competition is a competition. You can argue that Europa League, of course, the opponents there, they are not of the same pedigree to what we have in the EPL, but the players that are playing there have shown that they can win. They have the best winning mentality, winning 6 out of the 6. Okay, but you cannot tell me that Arteta could not get the performing players from Europa League and play them in the English Premier League. Why is he going with the same non-performing players week in, week out? Talking about Xhaka, has been shambolic for the last 4 matches. Bellerin, terrible. Willian, I thought today he did a bit. He played a bit better, but he hasn't been looking decent. He has not justified his move from Chelsea to Arsenal with all those big wages he's earning at Arsenal. And a lot of questions have been asked about Arteta loyalty to some players, because we saw last time, when Pepe was sent off, Arteta came out publicly, condemning a player publicly, saying that the player has let the team down. Many fans are waiting to see what he's gonna say about Xhaka, who is seemingly his friend. What is all this disparity and favoritism about in the game of football? Arteta should know better. By now, Arteta should know better, because most of his decisions that he has been making at Arsenal have cost the team. And if this is not the time Arteta will be sacked, I don't know whether Arsenal is going to survive. This is the time he has to be asked to step aside, because he has been given time. Personally, I've wanted him to succeed at Arsenal. Personally, I've backed him enough at Arsenal. But the kind of decisions he's been making, talk about Saliba, £27 million player, young, talented, Mbappe of centre backs, not playing. Reason is not ready. Fofana, who was his teammate there at Saint Etienne, there in France, is having the best moments of his lifetime at Leicester City. Same age. What is happening with Saliba? You know, it is even better. You play youngsters, they make mistakes, so that you could say that, okay, you know, these are youngsters, they are learning. But when you're playing experienced players who are not in the game, totally out of the game, out of form, disinterested, doing the same mistakes over and over, what is the process? Ozil's case is another terrible mistake from Arteta. Talking about Wenduzi, playing his football there in Germany, having the best of his playing the best football of his lifetime. Yeah, man of the match 3 times. Wenduzi playing at Hertha Berlin. Yeah, and now fans are feeling that Arteta has an agenda against some players, which should not be the case. And so the question is, the board knew very well before the sacking of Emery, Jose Mourinho was spotted at the Emirates with Edu, watching football. Apparently, the writings were on the wall for Emery that he was going to be sacked, and many people believed that Jose Mourinho was to replace Emery at Arsenal. But what happened? Arteta was brought in. Mourinho went to Tottenham. He's doing his thing there. He's taking his experience there. He's working his magic there. But what is happening at Arsenal? Yeah? And sometimes I feel like the board is behind all this, because if they knew very well that Arteta was not ready, because Arteta had not coached any team. He was an assistant there at Manchester City. How could they entrust a novice for a big job at Arsenal? Arsenal is a big club. There were better managers there, yeah, to choose from. If it was not going to be Jose Mourinho, there were better managers. And so we have to ask these questions. And if Arteta continues to be an Arsenal manager past next weekend, then I think the music will be different. Will be different. Arteta was a cheaper option for the board. They wanted somebody they could bully, somebody who could drive their agenda, somebody who could they could push to do things their own way. And he's doing exactly that. Yeah? Where why are many people, many coaching staffs moving away from Arsenal? Why are they leaving Arsenal? In my last episode, I talked about many of those that have left the club. Kagigao, the head of recruitment, the long-serving guy in Arsenal, was shown the door. Raul has left. Yeah. What is happening at Arsenal? And now the team has been left on just unsafe hands. We're talking about Arteta, who is inexperienced, promoted from head coach to manager now. We're talking about Edu, who is an experienced former player. He's now the director of sports of football there at Arsenal. We're talking about Vinay, 38 years old. The guy looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. A club of Arsenal stature being left on the unexperienced hands of these guys, I don't know. I surely don't know. I don't know. And so it was so devastating. Arsenal losing at home. Of course, there have been a lot of mention of managers who are able to take the mantle there at Arsenal. We have able managers, yeah, and it's not even about the availability of able managers, because Arsenal, being the big club that it is has the muscle to price away any performing manager by giving him assurances of what they can offer him in terms of support, in terms of wages and everything. Yeah, the manager for RB Leipzig, performing, young, and someone who knows what he's doing. But the board does not want a manager who will stand by his words. They want managers like Arteta, who they can command, they can tell, they can drive their agenda through him in whichever way, whatever way, as long as the profitability is kept intact. And so, I'm just going to run through a few managers that might be considered for the Arsenal job, because Arteta, for me, is a close case. One, we're talking about Pochettino. Two, we're talking about Maximiliano Allegri, former Juventus boss. Another one is Thomas Tuchel, PSG. Another one is Rafa Benitez. Another one is Conte. Another one is Mancini. Another one is Ranieri. Another one is Patrick Vieira. And the last one, if it gets to the worst, is Thierry Henry. Do you agree with my list? If not, you can give your comment, leave it in the comment section below, and let's see what's going to happen, because things have to change. Things have to change, and that is about my time. Thank you, and see you in the next time. Bye.